Hey, what's going on? My name is Michael Dean. Now, if you're here watching this video, it's because you want to do some stretching. Now, this mobility routine is for everyone, but if you work a desk job, you're going to especially appreciate this one. The focus of today's mobility routine is to fix tech neck, so to open up your neck, chest, and shoulders, to release the lower back, and to stretch the hamstrings, all things that get tight and uncomfortable if you work a desk job. There are 7 main movements that I'll be demonstrating, so go ahead and follow along and let's get into it. Now, this first movement is a warm-up, and it comes from a video of mine that's gone viral on how to really open up and stretch your scapula, your shoulder blades. So the movement goes like this. You want to bring your arms straight out in front of you and then invert your hands as much as possible. Then I'm bringing my arms behind my back. Now, the trick to this one and why it goes viral is that once I get my hands here, I do let my wrist fold. So my wrist is straight, but then when it goes back here, I let those wrists fold. And then from here, you're taking your legs wide. You're trying to bring your elbows as close together as possible. You're bringing your elbows inside those knees, and you're using the knees to push on the shoulder. And as I do that, I'm pushing the shoulder in and opening up the scapula. A lot of people have a lot of tension in their upper back and neck, and that just pulls on the back. So if you're curious, if you saw this video and you wanted to know how to do that, the trick is letting those wrists bend, coming in here and then stretching, and you can straighten out your legs for an extra posterior chain stretch. This one feels really good. If you got tight shoulders, it will be painful. You might have to start with just one side at a time, which you can just bring your hand behind like this, grab that elbow and pull. And this is a more simplified way that you can stretch your shoulder. And then as you work up to it, you can do it like mine. Great way, great movement that you can do any time of day, and especially if you're working a desk job. Now, the first movement that we'll be going through are called Y and T raises. Very simple, right? You've seen YMCA, right? So we're just going Y raise, and from the side, I want you to see here. So I'm bringing my arms diagonally up and trying to bring them back. Now, you do want to have some movement here, okay? If you're working a desk job, if you're sitting a lot, you're very stiff. You're not moving a lot. So how do we counteract that? We move a lot. So go and stand up with me. Make sure you're doing this along. We're doing these Y raises, and I'm just bringing my arms up into the Y, and I'm bringing those arms back. I'm trying to get some movement into my limbs, trying to open up my chest and shoulders, okay? So we've done about 10 of these. We're going into those T raises. Now, I'm not just bringing my arm out to the side, I'm bringing my arms out to the side and back. So it's gonna look like this, almost like I'm a bird flapping my wings. So if you are stiff, you're waking up stiff in the morning, you need to get moving. You need to move your limbs. We're doing about 30 seconds of Y raises, 30 seconds of T raises, and you want to do 2 to 3 rounds of that every single morning to open up that chest before you go into your work job and you're allowing those chest and shoulders to round forward. We want to open that up. So again, we're going to go Y raises, about 30 seconds. And then your arm should be on fire at this point. And then we're going into those T raises. And then just remember, it's not just out to the side, but I'm bringing those hands back just a little bit. All right, good job. Now, for the second movement, we are opening up our back, chest, and shoulders. Once again, the first and simpler version you can do from a seated position is going to be reaching one hand towards your ankle. The opposite hand goes behind my head, and now I'm trying to open up towards the ceiling. So I will get a little bit more of an isolated stretch. You'll get more of an isolated stretch doing this just in the upper body, and that's where you feel the isolation. So you can do this, you're typing away at your desk, feeling a little stiff. This is a great one you can do. No one's really gonna notice what you're doing. So you're taking that hand, getting it towards the ankle, grabbing, other hand goes to the back of the head, and I'm twisting up. This is increasing the mobility in my thoracic spine, So the mid part of my spine, preventing my shoulder blades from getting too tight, but then additionally on the other side, I'm opening up my chest and my tricep. So again, oftentimes when we're typing or we're looking at our phone or reading, we're hunched forward, we're strengthening. It's not just a stretch. I'm strengthening and opening up, reversing what's happening. Now that's the simplified version you can do from anywhere. The second version is gonna be from the floor. Come here often. I do call this the sexy pose. So anytime you're laying on your side, supporting yourself with your forearm and your elbow underneath, I call it the sexy pose. You're kind of here like this. But what you wanna do from here is bring my knees to a 90 degree. My legs are straight. This will actually help you keep your balance and make sure that you're stretching where you should be. From here, I'm stretching my one arm out in front of me, laying on that shoulder, and this is called the open book stretch. My arms are like I'm opening a book, and I just had a few cracks in my back as I did that. Really simple, so I do let that head go back, and I'm just opening up. And so, whereas that last one was a simplified version that you can do seated, it's a little bit more isolated in the upper back. This one is really opening up my chest and shoulders, but I'm getting much more range of motion through my back, through, again, my thoracic spine. And this is a movement that's gonna keep you feeling good every single day. If you're the type of person that feels like you need to twist and crack your back, every few hours throughout the day, you're gonna love this movement. You'll notice the more you do this, the less cracks you get out of your back because you're removing the tension. One thing to keep in mind that when you are seated a lot, your hip flexors are in a shortened position. Those hip flexors get tight over time and are gonna cause an array of issues in your posture. So we need to stretch both the quads and the hip flexors to prevent this shortening over time. The stretch that we'll be doing for this is called a couch stretch. You can really do it from anywhere. It's the most comfortable to do it from a couch, and I'll explain why, but again, you could do this movement anywhere, and I'll be demonstrating on a bench here. So what you want to do is to be able to get that toe, your foot, preferably pretend this is a couch, against the back, and I'm trying to get my knee all the way to the back there, okay? Now from here, you'll notice it kind of shifts my posture forward. If I stand up, I already get a great stretch through my hip flexor and my quad. Not my knee, my quad and my hip flexors. So this is great. Now, if you are really, really tight in this position, what you're gonna wanna do is bring that knee a little bit further away from the back so that you can stand up taller. But if you are able to, again, push that knee as far back as you can see my toe is pointed up, and I'm coming up. When we're working on posture movements, it's not about feeling the most painful stretch. Your body's not gonna be able to adapt to anything if it's too painful. So you wanna find a range where you're feeling tension and it's slightly uncomfortable, but not too painful, right? So that might look like here for you, it might look like here, but the key is to relax and get your body used to this position. If it's too painful, your body won't get used to it. Now, if you need an extra stretch or you feel like you're not really feeling it up here in the hip, what you wanna do is squeeze your glute together and think about pushing your hips forward. This takes that tension that might be a little bit lower in your quad all the way up to the hip flexor. So it's great to do this on a padded bench or a couch as a little bit more comfortable on the knee. But if you're strong enough, you could put your knee down on the floor, you could put your toe up against a wall, you could do this just about anywhere, and then rather than standing on that front leg, you'd be kneeling. You wanna hold this one for anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute, and then switch to the other side. So you can see me getting in on the other side. First, I'm getting that toe up, then I push my knee back. Oh man, had to go a little further than I was expecting, but then I'm just standing up into it. The side's a little bit tighter for me. Holding for about 30 seconds to 1 minute. Do about 2 rounds per side. The key is to relax into the position. And then once I feel some of that tension gone, I move on. Remember that your body is designed to move. You are not designed to be a statue. So when you're doing these stretches, we don't always want to be holding static poses. In fact, if we can add any sort of movement in there, it's gonna most certainly be better for your body. The next movement is called a 90-90 switch. It is not the 90-90 hold position. So what that looks like is you've got your hands back behind you, your feet are shoulder width apart, and then I'm letting both knees fall to one direction. Notice my back hand comes up as my weight shifts forward a little bit, but then I'm switching to position. All right, so again, it might feel great to be in this position and you can hold it for 1 or 2 extra seconds, but the key is to switch because again, your body is not designed to be a statue, it is designed to move. We need to teach our bodies to move without pain. Now, as you practice this, you can do it without your hands as your hips get better. So go ahead and follow along with me, put your hands back behind you. We're going 30 seconds here. If you feel like you're scooching forward, no problem. Just adjust your hands as you go or scoot back. Any of that's fine. We want to keep it moving. And the key is to get your body feeling good. And you might say, Michael, I've watched quite a few of your videos. You keep throwing in the 90-90 switch. Why do you keep doing that? Well, it's because most of you who are 30 years old have hips like a 70-year-old. Snap, crackle, pop every time you move or you feel grinding in these positions. How do you fix it? You practice it. So you want to do about 2-3 rounds of 30 seconds. You can take a break if you need to, and then you go back into it. If you want to feel more of a stretch, take your legs wider, a little bit harder on that hip that has to rotate internally the wider your legs are. But again, shoulder width apart should be fine. So the next movement is a forward fold. Now you might say, Michael, you just said our bodies were meant to move. Now you're gonna have me hold a hamstring stretch? That doesn't make sense. And you'd be right, it doesn't, because that's not what we're gonna do. Okay, so this one is a little bit easier without shoes, but of course you can do it with shoes on. Say you're in an office or somewhere where you need to have your shoes on. All right, so first of all, if your legs are straight, I want you to put your hands on your side, by your sides, and try to get your chest up as tall as possible. All right, so this is gonna be good posture for our backs. Then we remove our hands, and I'm just trying to lean forward. Depending on how tight you are, you may not be able to lean forward very much. What you can do is take those hands, put them underneath your knees, and help you lean forward just a little bit more by pulling. All right, I am trying to keep my back straight. Now this is the starting position, and from here, we're doing what's called dorsiflexion. So I'm pointing my toes, I'm pulling them back. So again, now I'm teaching that movement that my body should have. My hamstrings aren't designed to be short. My hamstrings are not designed to be long. They're designed to move. And that's what we're doing. You want to do 10 reps. Take a break. 10 reps again. Now, if you do this, maybe you're pretty flexible. You can do this, you don't really feel much tension. You can go 1 foot in. You can practice with the other leg, see if you can go a little bit further, or you can even take your hands all the way to that leg and then practice the dorsiflexion from here, and you'll get a much deeper stretch. So remember, you're doing rounds of 10. So whether you are doing one leg, you're doing both legs, you're doing it fast, doing it slow, you need to be doing 10 repetitions, taking a break. Remember, breaks are important, rest is important because we're trying to design or get our bodies to adapt to this. So if we go without stopping, no adaptation really possible. Taking a break and then going back into it. What better way to end a mobility session than laying flat on our backs and relaxing? And that's what we're gonna be doing. We're doing floor angels, or you could do this standing against a wall, which would be called wall angels. I do find that I get a deeper stretch and it's more relaxing if I do it from the floor. So what I'm doing here, first I'm starting with my knees elevated, my feet are on the ground, I'm bringing my hands up over my head, and then spreading my fingertips, and then I'm coming down like this. Now, if there were snow, right, in the end, it'd look like I made a snow angel, but I'm spreading those fingertips. I'm not just bringing them out to the side, I'm widening my arms, but then I'm bending those elbows and trying to bring my elbows into my side. And if I go all the way, see what happens to my hands. They come off the ground. It's because there is tension in my shoulders. Now, as you practice this, you should feel tension in your shoulders, but by the end, it should be much better. This is a movement I love to do. I do this in bed. I do it, I'll lay on the floor, put on a show and relax in the evenings. This is a great way to decompress your upper back and your neck, as well as take out tension out of your shoulders and open up your chest. You can feel a stretch through your biceps, through your shoulders, through your pecs, through your abdominals. This really is a great movement to stretch everywhere. And if you need some extra relaxation, you want to practice a breath count. When you practice a breath count, you'll be doing a 4-second inhale, a 2-second hold, and a 6-second exhale. A total of 12 seconds on each breath. So it'll look like this. Now I have you start here with your knees elevated, as this will take some tension off your back. If you feel like you're loose enough to go ahead and start with this, or you've loosened up a little bit as we've done this, you can straighten out your legs. You might notice that you feel it in other places like your hips or your lower back, as of course your whole body is connected and things might be pulling on one another. You want to do 10 repetitions. You'll take a break. I definitely encourage you to relax and just breathe. Lay here for a moment. In our world, we often don't ever stop to just breathe. It can be scary sometimes to do so, but I encourage you to stop for 10 seconds and then go back into it. Now, I hope you enjoyed today's mobility session. Hopefully you're not as sweaty as I am. It's 90 degrees in the garage here, but it is relaxing nonetheless. These movements are great for anyone, but if you do work from a desk more often than not, certain areas in your body are going to be tighter than others, and it's important to not just stretch those areas, but teach your body how to move properly. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.